Hi, my name is Genesis Harper, and when I go to Chicago, I watch my grandma Sharon on Taking It to the Street TV show.
We're taking it to the streets. We're taking it to the streets with Sharon Harper. We're taking it to the streets. We're taking it to the streets. We're taking it to the streets with Sharon Harper. This show is about the people. This show is for the people. This show is by the people. Sharon Harper. This show is about the people. This show is for the people. This show is by the people. Sharon Harper. We're taking it to the streets. We're taking it to the streets. We're taking it to the streets with Sharon Harper. We're taking it to the streets. We're taking it to the streets. We're taking it to the streets with Sharon Harper.
Hello, and thank you for tuning in to Taking It to the Streets, a show for the people and by the people. If you got a piece of paper handy and an ink pen or a pencil, I want you to write this down. The Aaron Wright story. Okay, once again, write it down. The Aaron Wright story. Okay, remember this name, Aaron Wright, okay, because there will be more to come about this young man who is my guest today, along with Tasha, okay, but I want you to write it down because there's a documentary being made about Aaron Wright, okay, and it will be coming to a theater soon near you, but write it down so when you hear of it, you make it a point to participate, go see it, because, I mean, and it's a small world. You know, we always say it's a small world. It is really a small world. And Aaron Wright, you never know who knows who, right? Okay, but the reason why I'm bringing this story, well, not the full story, but bringing to you Aaron Wright, because this young man has a lot to say. And if you have any teenagers, young adults in your household, you may want to bring them and look at this young man, okay? I want to thank Tasha, okay, because I'm going to ask you some questions, so don't think you're going to sit over there and get away with not saying anything. And also, my guest, I want to thank you, Aaron Wright. And thank you for coming on to Taking It to the Streets. And I also want to thank, I forget Marcus's last name.
St. Cloud.
Okay, Marcus St. Cloud. I want to thank you for bringing this young man to my attention. Okay, this is a free-for-all because, I mean, it would take forever to really talk to you. But when I say it's a small world because I know his mama. As a matter of fact, and you know I'm a harp on this, his mama used to, she didn't beat me up or nothing, you know, when I was in high school, but she used to pick on me a lot. And had the nerve to have the name Sharon. But Aaron, thank you for coming to the show. But just tell us a little bit something about yourself to give the people an idea of who you are.
Well, my name is Aaron Wright, and I'm from Robert Taylor Homes. They call it The Hole. I'm from 5326, apartment 404, and they used to call me Ace.
Ace, okay.
Yeah, and I also was the chief for the Mickey Cobra Nation.
Oh, wait a minute, hold up. Say that again, because I didn't hear. You was the what?
The chief enforcer.
Okay, now explain that, because you know there are some people who may not know what you're talking about. So make sure you break it on down.
Okay,
what that is.
Well, I was in an organization. I was a part of an organization called the Mickey Cobra Nation, and I was the chief enforcer.
Okay.
I enforce law. Whatever law come down to me, I had to enforce it, regardless of what it was.
Okay.
And through that situation, you know, I had to grow up mentally. Mm-hmm. I was grown before I was grown. So, you know, my aim is to educate some of these young guys that's out here that's representing these letters, that's you know, want to be Billy Bad in the neighborhood, and you know, want to sit out here and gang bang and for nothing, you know, inner city genocide, you know, and I'm tired of it, you know, and somebody got to take a stand. You know, and I'm doing it by myself. I'm not politically connected. I'm not in no organizations, government organizations. I'm just putting my life story out there.
Okay.
I'm putting myself on the forefront and let people understand what was in my mind and what I was going through, so I can be able to captivate at least one person, help them save themselves, because I could have been dead a long time ago. And I thank God that I went through the trials and tribulations so I can see today, because like I said, it's inner city genocide.
Now what, well, I shouldn't say inspired you, but what make you want to get involved in something like that? Because oftentimes we hear the kids say, well, it ain't nothing to do. We can't find no job. So what really drove you to being in that particular scenario, arena, environment? What drove you to that?
What drove, I was actually, I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, you have people that move in neighborhoods and they join in. And I was born and raised in it. My daddy, Charles Edward Moody, he was one of Mickey's finest.
Okay.
You know, so I took on, when my dad, you know, left the scene, I took on his legacy.
Oh, okay.
So it's basically, I was born and raised in it, you know, and I did a lot of things with my dad, you know, that wasn't right, you know what I'm saying, and in the community that wasn't right. And, you know, after a while, you know, you get to a point where, you know, why destroy something? It's time to be productive and, you know, help somebody. Because, you know, like I told a couple of my friends before, I didn't get these dips in my head just from mama beating me down. The neighborhood, even the guys that y'all called thugs then, was actually the role models that kept me in high school, kept me captivated. I had Mr. Brown, Charles Brown, he was we used to call him Stuffy. He had the drill team, the Young Eagles drill team. He was the first drill team. I used to play for the Arrows, which was one of the first football teams for young kids that was in Robert Taylor. You know what I'm saying? I played for the Astros. That was one of the first teams in Robert Taylor to have a little pony league baseball team. So it wasn't just that I was getting plugged in to do evil. It was basically, you know, representing where we come from. Even when we was kids, going to the bug billing and parade, we all had our T-shirts on. You know, I took it as a family. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, my dad wasn't. I knew my dad. I loved my dad, but I felt dad wasn't there enough. So the streets and them same alcoholics that was on State Street was the educators. You know, you know, they taught me things, you know, taught me how to fish, taught me how to catch grasshoppers, taught me how to pop a towel. When I say pop a towel, shine a shoe. And 51st Street, the police station, was my first business. I will sit there from sun up to sundown, shining them black shoes.
Really? Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's like this. Somebody have to take a stand that had authority on these streets. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit here and you know, X out anybody else's organization, or I'm not going to X that out. I will ask for them from all over to join hands and take back the streets by opening up these kids' eyes to be entrepreneurs.
Right.
You know, the hobbies that they into, changing it to something else. You know, flip the script.
Right.
You know, we have people that's out here geniuses and we don't know because, you know, us adults don't even try to talk to them. See, today's kids, you can't talk at them. You got to talk to them. And then when you talk to them, you got to be able for them to open up to you.
Right, right.
You got to know what's going on in their mind.
Right.
And only way you're going to do that is you got to get on their level.
Right, right.
You got to come
Right.
down to them.
Right.
Even if you got to sit on the floor when they sitting on the floor.
Right.
What's going on?
Right.
What you want to do? It ain't about me. I don't look at me as a parent right now. What do you want to do? You know what I'm saying? So my aim is to, put my story out there, let them see all the trials and tribulations that I went through. Because I thank God today that I'm alive. And anybody that knows me, I'm supposed to been dead a long time ago, And I'm not saying that I'm holy endowed, because I still have life issues that I have to deal with. But if I could be a stepping stone to open up the doors for these kids to be able to come to me and say, hey, I have a problem, let's do it. Because half of these kids now just need a hug. And need somebody to hear them.
Right.
They out there doing a madness out there.
Yes.
But I understand why, because I was them.
Right.
So I'm not finna sit here and judge no one. But I want to be a stepping stone so they can be able to come to me and say, hey, Ace, I got a problem. What do you think? If they can't go to their mom and their dad because their mom and dad is all junked out, who you think they're gonna go to?
Right, right.
They gonna go to Billy Bob on the street. The young guys, they don't have gym shoes. So they're gonna steal, sell drugs, break into stuff, just to eat, just to live, trying to be with the Joneses. It ain't always good to be with the Joneses. It's good to be an outstanding member, So that's my aim. I gotta save my brothers and sisters. I gotta save my son. I had a son that got killed in 2008 for 2 bags of weed.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, got his head blew off. And to go through a trial and see this young cat kill my son, I had two. I had the devil on one side and God on the other side. The devil was telling me to jump over that pew and beat the brakes off of him. But then at the end of the day, the God side say you got to forgive him because he didn't know better. So that's why I had to really challenge myself and say, should I come out of retirement and avenge my son, or do some constructive in the name of my son?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because if I ask my son today, son, is I'm doing this right, Daddy, keep fighting.
Okay.
That's what he would have told me. So I'm here to just show the world my story. I'm not trying to run for no offices. I'm just trying to open up some minds and
and what would be wrong if you did decide to run for an office?
Well, it wouldn't be no problem.
Okay.
Because I will. It's nothing. See, I'm not scared. See, the thing is, you got people that's out here. They talk a good game.
Sure do.
But they scared. When I said that I was gonna do a documentary, man, this is some Fed stuff. If you ain't did nothing, what you going to jail for?
Right.
And I'm talking about my life. You know what I'm saying? So if I say anything, okay, lock me up. Because at least I'm saying something to help my people.
Right.
And can't nobody take away your constitutional right anyway. It ain't about me going to bomb anything or try to kill somebody. No, I'm showing you my life and what I had to go through, the trials and tribulations, the struggles, the experiences. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because this is real out here.
Yes,
These
it is.
these kids don't understand. You know, I asked the kid a while ago, what was your life expectancy? Do you know what he said to me? 18. That means you feel that 18 will be your last year of you living? That's something else. That's criminal
Yeah, it is.
for him to think that way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things that's going on. You got young ladies and the brothers too that have these kids and you teaching them criminal minded. And when I say criminal minded, prime example, say for instance, You at a grocery store. You got your little brother right here in the little basket area.
Yeah.
And you got the little 3-year-old on the side. Now, you know he's there because he, mom, and you trying to get all your little stuff out the grocery store. But you ain't seeing that he, you know, where they had a sneaker bars and the Hot Wheel cars.
Yeah.
Okay. She get all her stuff. She know her baby there, but she didn't know what he put in his pocket or got in his hand. She know her son or her daughter is right there.
Right.
They get to the checkout. No alarms go off or nothing. She get out the door with her buggy or whatever the case may be, going to the car or to the bus stop. All of a sudden she hear rattling and she looked down, or he looked down and said, where you get that from? I got it out the store. Now you got two options.
Yeah. Take it.
Two options. Turn around, go back to the manager. My child stole this, and I'm teaching my child, 2-3 years old, that it's wrong to steal. Or pop him across the head. You better go, don't touch nothing else. Right then and there, you teaching your child criminal-minded because he'll rather get popped in the head and still have that candy bar. So when he grow up, he'll go start stealing. Petty thief then.
Yeah.
You know, going to Walgreens, you know, it start off with maybe he wants some shoelaces, maybe a t-shirt. Then they upgrade. Okay, I can walk out of here with a video game.
Right, right.
Then the next one might be a bank.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then when they go up that ladder of being criminal-minded, you teaching them, if you don't stop them right then and there.
Right.
Because common sense is common sense. You know it's wrong to put your hand over hot fire, right? Because you're going to get burned. So if you teach your child right then and there that it's wrong to steal and educate him, that will give him the sense of what's right and wrong.
Right.
And that's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to start a movement where people deal with your home first. How could you deal with society abroad when you got madness in your house?
Right.
Clean house first.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I want to be able to start, you know, if this goes right with this documentary, I want to be able to open up a community center so they can have GED classes, computer classes, technical cameras, computer graphic, where they can make their own video games.
Right.
If these guys can go to college and be in a room, in a dorm room, and come up with an idea of Facebook, what you think we can do? People from Robert Taylor, people from Inglewood, people from Jeffrey Manor, people everywhere, you know. And I tell people it's 3 divisions, and I preach this all the time. You got hood, you got ghetto, and you got urban.
Okay.
Urban, I'm gonna deal with urban first. Urban is a salad bowl to me, because you got your lettuce, your tomatoes, your green peppers, you got your egg, you got your cucumbers, your pickles, all that. Each one of them vegetables are considered a race of people.
Okay.
You mix it all up. That's urban to me. Hood is the block where your address is on. Wherever your door where you lay your head, that's the hood. Because when you walk out the door, that's the neighborhood, right?
Right.
Ghetto is the outside streets that's surrounding your ghetto. You know what I'm saying? See, a lot of people get it mixed up. The ghetto. No. The hood. Stop saying ghetto, because ghettos is when you walk out your hood and go to the main street, that's where you see the rats, roaches, Negroes, and the whores. I'm gonna keep it 100. That's what you see in the ghetto. But at home in your hood, you see Mrs. Johnson. You see Mrs. Walker, Mr. Bonds. That's your hood. So I challenge any one of these guys that's authority. that's out here that got these slots in any games. My Latino brothers, the black brothers, white brothers. Okay, I'm not knocking your hustle. Whatever you do, that's on you. But if you see that little boy with some rundown shoes, what's wrong with taking him to shoe carnival and getting a buy one, get one free?
Yeah.
Or you know that these kids ain't been eating and you've been taking their food stamps from their mama. What's wrong with taking them same food stamps? Because you know it's dollar for dollar anyway, if you're a hustler. Why not go fill a refrigerator back? Give it back to them. Because you not hurting the adult, you hurting that baby.
Right.
And then when you see them out there, see, people get it twisted where they see the sportsmen, the football players, basketball players, oh, they are the role models. No, we the role models because they see us every day. Even if it's good or bad, they see it, they emulate. Yes, it's a fantasy to see the bling bling on the videos or the girls seeing the girls in the hot suits or whatever. That's a fantasy. Reality is right outside your door. So whatever they see us grown men doing, that's what they call role models. So I know I was a bad role model. I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat it. I'm not finna sit here and play games. Okay, I helped destroy some of these streets. Let's build it back.
Right.
Block by block.
Right.
So I'm asking all these guys that's out here that got these authority, this authority, that call themselves, they the kings and the dons and the bishops and all this Billy Bad. Okay.
Okay.
Go back on your block and talk to your block president. Is it any way possible I can get these guys to clean it up? Invest in your hood.
And you say absolutely, because what really perturbs me is to go down certain neighborhoods, and I can call out the areas, but I'm not going to call them out. And it's not necessarily a hood area either.
Right.
Where you can see people hanging out, but yet you got all this trash. And then you have people who even put plastic bags outside on their gates, you know, thinking that people are going to throw their trash or, you know, passing by would put it in a plastic garbage bag. They just throw it down on the street. So I'm all for people who, the same people you see day after day, for some reason congregate, talk, okay, and it's mostly men. Okay, young men to middle-aged men. And I'm saying now, they do this every day, you know, whatever they talking about. Why don't they just go down the block and, you know, pick up the trash or whatever the case may be? You know, I would think you would want to have pride in
That's
doing
what it
that.
is. It's you know what? That's the main thing. Cause I'm believe me, I've been out there in the streets. I did it and done it. But my main issue was, you know, one thing I could say, you know, after a while when I was living in the hole, when we had certain events, we get out there and clean it up. Wasn't no raping and robbing in the hole.
Right, right.
Yeah, people said that it was dangerous. Yes, it was. I'm gonna be the first person to tell you, yes, it was. But at the end of the day, it was also positive stuff that went on.
Yes, it was, but you didn't hear about that.
You didn't hear about that. You didn't hear about 2 or 3 of the young ladies that got full rides to the university and became doctors and teachers and lawyers. You know, you didn't hear about a couple of guys that went to the military and got 20 years in it. You know what I'm saying? And now they're lieutenants and teaching people trades and that. You know, some people work for NASA, CIA, you know, but with some of the baddest kids in the hood. But they got an outlet. They took a hobby and ran with it. So I'm, you know, my thing is we got kids right now that could take a ball of yarn and get into macrame. Boys and girls. We got guys that can write poems. We got women that can do hair. We got women that can do gymnastics. But you'll never know because they got this wall up. Because they've been hit with so much negative at home first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got to get in the minds of them. You know, that's why I'm doing this documentary, and then I'm writing 2 books.
Okay, let me jump over to this young lady, because you, hey, as usual, we're running out of time. But now, tell us who you are and what your involvement is, and who you with. Okay, we want to know.
My name's Yatashah Backus, and I got involved in this I'm the editor. I'm the editor, and I'm on-site director.
Okay.
I got involved in this film because I know a friend of Aaron's named Marcus St. Cloud, and him and I have worked together on a lot of different things, and he got me involved because he's the director of the entire film.
Okay.
So my job is to get the interviews and then to edit this entire masterpiece of so many people's stories and so many people's lives.
Yeah. Now you also, was it you or you that mentioned about Marcus St. Cloud is also son to
Dr. Hammerlin. Dr.
Okay,
Emir.
and say who he is and where he's from, because you know we know him from where?
Marcus St. Cloud, a.k.a. Emil Hammerlin Jr. That's Dr. Hammerlin's from DuSable. He was the horticulture teacher of mine. That's his son, and I look up to Dr. Hammerlin.
Yes.
You know, and when I first got involved with this project, before I was doing a chapter, I did a 7-page chapter of Dr. Hammerlin's book, because Dr. Hammerlin is coming out with a book, and it was certain events that Dr. Hammerlin helped me out with.
Okay.
Just to share a little bit, I was facing 285 years in Madison, Wisconsin.
Dang. 285 years? Okay.
Yes, they had me as the biggest drug enforcer of Madison, Wisconsin. And my lawyer asked me, he said, do you have, to make it quick, do you have anybody that can talk to you? Because they finna slam you. He kept it 100.
Okay.
I said, Doc. I wrote Doc a letter. Doc wrote me back. And I told him when my trial date, after Doc got through talking to them judges, I was out in 18 months.
Oh man, that's good.
The judges, both judges that gave me the $1 million bond and finna give me that time, came to the prison personally and signed me out.
Good. Well, I'm gonna bring you back, okay? Because I want everyone to, when they finish this documentary, to get a chance to actually see who Aaron Wright is. But I want to thank you for coming on my show, and I'm gonna bring you back on again when we get close to you guys releasing that documentary,
Yes,
okay?
ma'am.
But I want to thank both of you for taking time out of your schedule, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So until the next time, hey, take care. Make sure you tell your loved ones and your children that you love them. Tomorrow is not promised to anyone. Thank you.
Okay.
This show is about the people. This show is for the people. This show is about the people. Sharon Harper. We're taking it to the streets. We're taking it to the streets. We're taking it to the streets with Sharon Harper. We're taking it to the streets. We're taking it to the streets. We're taking it to the streets with Sharon Harper. Yeah. We're taking it to the streets. We're taking it to the streets. We're taking it to the streets with Sharon Harper. This show is about the people. This show is for the people. This show is by the people. Sharon Harper. This show is about the people. This show is for the people. This show is by the people. Sharon Harper. We're taking it to the streets. We're taking it to the streets. We're taking it to the streets with Sharon Harper. Sharon Harper. This show is about the people. This show is for the people. This show is by the people. Sharon Harper. We're taking it to the streets. We're taking it to the streets. We're taking it to the streets with Sharon.